Okay guys, per popular request, we are going to start a series of how-to Ecobee videos for proper setup for the types of equipment that we service and install. This first video is going to cover just the initial setup of the thermostat, so when you first power up the equipment and navigating through those screens. When you first power up the equipment, you're going to get a screen that says hello, and it's going to ask you to get started. Quick note, if you don't see this screen, that means the thermostat's been set up on something else before. Doesn't mean it won't work, just means that it's already got some stuff programmed into it. First thing it's going to ask is, are you an HVAC professional? We're going to go ahead and lie to everybody, tell them that we are, we know what we're doing. It's going to ask for a pro pin. We don't need to have one. That's just a way to link this thermostat directly to your company. And then it's going to ask for your power source, one transformer or two. Almost every system we install is going to be one transformer. The only application where you should be selecting two or dual transformer system would be if you have one thermostat that's controlling both a boiler for heating and then say a separate air handler for the cooling. First actual setup option is going to be your fan system. Everything that we service and install is going to be for a single or variable speed fan. The cool thing on this thermostat is if you're not sure what it's asking or you need a little bit more detail, there's always an icon that says I'm not sure, and if you select that, it just gives you some more information. So single and variable speed fan systems have one G-wire, which is all we're going to have on any of the systems we install. Next thing it's going to do is it's going to tell you the wires that it detected connected on its subbase. In this case, I've only got it connected to a transformer, so I only have 24 volts in common. If you know you've got a wire connected but it's not showing on this screen, either it's not connected all the way or maybe it just didn't pick it up and you can't edit it. And this is where you can tell it what else is connected. In this case, we're going to tell it that it's got a heat pump with an electric backup heat source. It's going to ask if you have an accessory installed. For the moment, we're going to say no accessory. It's going to ask what kind of heat pump you have. You know, very rare, but we do see geothermal, but for the most part, we're going to be selecting air-to-air heat pump. How's your reversing valve energized? Everything that we install is going to be on cooling. Some of the equipment that we service might be on heat, so it's important to pay attention. The only brands that do switch in heating mode are going to be Rheem, Rudd, and Bosch. Allow heat pump and auxiliary heat to run together. So this is a feature that's asking when it's time to heat, do we want to be able to use the auxiliary heat source with the heat pump? And we're going to allow that. The only times you wouldn't allow it is if it's a hybrid unit, meaning the backup heat source is a gas or propane appliance. And it actually even has a note that says only allow if the backup heat source is electric. Minimum outdoor temperature. So this means the thermostat will not use the heat pump or the outdoor unit below this temperature. It's defaulted to 35 degrees, which is kind of the standard that's been used in the industry for heat pumps. They just tend to lose effectiveness as it gets colder. But with all the new efficiency requirements and the different staging and modulation of equipment, they are much more effective down to low temperatures. On most equipment, you can set that anywhere from 10 degrees to -10. If you needed to, you can actually even disable it or have it automatically choose. We're going to set it to -10. That's, you know, most of our modulating units are good down to that temperature, but ultimately it doesn't hurt to at least try to use the heat pump, even if we're down at 0 degrees or so. What kind of heating do you have in your home? It's going to be furnace. If you've got a boiler, obviously select that. When do you want your fan to be controlled? It's defaulted to use the thermostat to control the fan. If you have a gas appliance, whether it's a gas with straight AC or it's a hybrid unit, so it's a heat pump with a gas appliance, you would use the furnace. Furnaces, gas or liquid propane appliances, have their own circuit board with their own on and off delays, so we would use that in those cases. Heat pump with electric heat, in this case, we're going to be using the thermostat. You can set up Wi-Fi through this initial setup stuff. You can skip that for now. You're going to select your country, your time zone. You're going to name it, which can be customized if you choose to do so. Your time, your date, and then the mode you want the thermostat to be in when you come out of the setup. So we're going to keep it at off. Set your desired temperature. So this is the homeowner's desired temperature when they're home. So we're going to go ahead and select 70 for winter, and we can go ahead and pick 72 for summer. You'll notice that the next screen is the comfort settings, and the only temperatures that reverted to what we just changed was the home feature. The thermostat uses separate parameters for the away and sleep options, mostly just for efficiency reasons, to reduce utility usage. Next screen is going to be your schedule. It allows you to view it. You can customize it later. But you can view it just to see what the time frames are and see if maybe the temperatures that are within those comfort zones during those times kind of line up with your use. I'm going to hit next, and then that's it. From here you can either go into testing the equipment, or you can just skip it to get into our main screen. There are going to be several other settings that need to be adjusted before we start using the equipment. And all of the settings for just a gas with straight AC are going to be the same during that initial setup, with the exception of you'll actually have fewer options to adjust.